Imagine for a moment that your brain, this incredible, intricate organ right there in your head, is basically the most powerful supercomputer you could ever conceive.
Right. Beyond anything we can build.
Exactly. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. You are actively programming that computer every single hour, whether you're aware of it or not.
Constant input.
But what if you could take intentional control of that programming? What if you could write the very code for your own success, your confidence, and, well, profound achievement?
That's precisely the revolutionary idea that Napoleon Hill unpacks. It's a concept that, once you truly grasp it, doesn't just change what you think, but really how you think about your entire internal world.
Yeah.
It sort of transforms you from being just a passive passenger to the deliberate architect of your mindset.
Absolutely. Today we're taking chapter 3 of Napoleon Hill's seminal work, Think and Grow Rich. This chapter introduces a principle that might seem simple on the surface, but its implications are truly profound. Autosuggestion.
It sounds almost too simple sometimes, doesn't it?
It really does. Is to unpack exactly what autosuggestion is, how it functions at a deep psychological level, why it possesses such incredible power, and most importantly, how you can harness it.
Right. How you can use it intentionally.
To shape your subconscious mind for the outcomes you desire. Prepare for some genuinely surprising insights and practical tools that can fundamentally shift your perspective on what's possible for you.
Yeah, get ready.
So let's start at the very beginning. What exactly is autosuggestion? At its core, it's about the deliberate, consistent act of repeating thoughts, affirmations, or specific statements to yourself.
Okay. Like talking to yourself, but with a purpose.
Exactly. Think of it as a highly focused personal broadcast aimed directly at the most powerful, yet often overlooked, part of your mental architecture. Your subconscious mind.
That deeper level.
Right. The key purpose here isn't just idle chatter or, wishful thinking. It's to ensure these carefully chosen thoughts, these specific statements, bypass the conscious mind's analytical filters.
The gatekeeper.
And sink deep, deep down into the very foundation of your mental operating system. It's about implanting an idea so deeply, it becomes an undeniable part of your inner truth.
What's truly fascinating is how Napoleon Hill frames this. He doesn't just present it as a technique. He defines it with striking precision and a real sense of empowerment.
How does he put it exactly?
According to Hill himself, autosuggestion is the agency of control through which an individual may voluntarily feed his subconscious mind.
Agency of control. That phrase really jumps out, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. When you hear that agency of control, it immediately signals something revolutionary for many people. It means you are not just a passive recipient of whatever random thoughts happen to drift into your mind.
Or all that negative self-talk.
Exactly. Or whatever negative self-talk has been playing on a loop for years. Instead, you are an active voluntary director. You are the one in charge of what gets input, what gets reinforced.
You choose the programming.
You choose it. And ultimately, what takes root and blossoms into belief and action. This implies a profound level of personal agency, a direct line of influence over your inner world that, frankly, countless individuals don't even realize they possess.
It's about seizing the reins, isn't it? Taking control of that internal narrative.
Yes, instead of letting it be dictated by, external circumstances or old limiting programs from the past.
That idea of an agency of control is so incredibly critical because it fundamentally shifts the perspective. You go from feeling like your thoughts just happen to you.
Right, like you're a victim of them.
To understanding that you have a deliberate, active role in shaping them. It transforms you from a victim of your thoughts into their master.
A powerful shift.
And here's where it gets truly intriguing, and maybe perhaps a little unsettling for some. The very nature of the subconscious mind itself. Yeah, this is key. As we explore Hill's insights, it becomes clear that the subconscious doesn't sit there evaluating or judging. It doesn't care if a thought is true or false, good or bad, realistic, or completely outlandish.
No judgment at all.
It doesn't analyze, it doesn't question your intentions, and it certainly doesn't argue back.
Yeah.
It simply accepts what is repeated to it with consistency.
Yeah.
Especially when that repetition comes with a genuine surge of emotion.
Indeed. And just consider the profound implications of that uncritical acceptance.
It's huge.
If, through persistent internal dialogue, you consistently tell yourself with feeling, I'll never succeed, or this is too hard for me, I'm just not capable, your subconscious mind doesn't critique that statement.
It doesn't push back and say, hey, wait a minute.
Not at all. It doesn't say, well, actually, you have a wealth of talent and you've overcome far greater challenges before. No, it simply accepts that as a directive, a program to execute. It's like having a highly efficient, but incredibly literal personal assistant that doesn't filter or question any instruction you give it repeatedly, just takes the order.
And runs with it.
Conversely, and this is where the power truly lies if you choose to repeat, with the same fervent emotional energy, I am destined to achieve this goal, or I possess the courage and skill to overcome any obstacle and win.
The positive side.
Your subconscious processes that input with the same uncritical acceptance. It simply doesn't differentiate between what your conscious, logical mind might perceive as truth or falsehood, or even present reality versus future desire.
You just take the input.
It just accepts the frequent, emotionally charged input as its new operating instruction. This understanding places an enormous responsibility and an equally enormous power squarely on your shoulders concerning your internal dialogue.
Every thought matters.
Every thought you dwell on, every belief you reinforce is either building you up or subtly, unconsciously tearing you down, whether you intend it to or not. It underscores that your mind is always being programmed.
Right.
Autosuggestion simply offers you the key to doing it intentionally and hopefully beneficially.
So, what does this all mean for you, the listener? It means you're already engaged in autosuggestion, like right now, whether you realize it or not.
It's happening anyway.
Every internal monologue, every worry replayed, every dream pondered, it's all input. Autosuggestion simply gives you the conscious tool to take over that process.
Take the wheel.
It means that the thoughts you choose to harbor and repeat aren't just fleeting whims. They're the foundational building blocks of your mental architecture. They're shaping your beliefs, your actions, and ultimately, your reality.
It really highlights that the most impactful conversations you ever have
Are the ones with yourself.
Exactly, the ones you have with yourself.
Speaking of building, Hill presents a truly powerful and often cited metaphor for how autosuggestion cultivates your reality.
Yes, the garden analogy.
The garden analogy. He suggests that the subconscious mind is like a rich, fertile garden. And if your mind is this incredibly productive ground, then autosuggestion is precisely how you plant the seeds.
Such a vivid analogy, isn't it? It makes it so visual.
It really does. It immediately makes you visualize the process, bringing an abstract concept down to earth. So the question becomes, what kind of gardener do you want to be for your mind?
Yeah. Are you letting weeds grow?
Are you allowing metaphorical weeds, doubt, fear to take over? Or are you carefully tending to the vibrant flowers of your deepest aspirations and planting the precise seeds of success?
This garden analogy is incredibly effective because it demystifies the whole process and makes it so relatable. If you're consistently repeating positive thoughts, if you're feeding your mind affirmations of capability, confidence, achievement,
Planting those good seeds.
you are quite literally planting seeds that will grow into unwavering belief, into heightened self-confidence, and ultimately into tangible success. These aren't just abstract concepts. These seeds manifest.
How so?
Well, they show up in your daily actions, your strategic decisions, the results you ultimately achieve. For instance, if you're consistently planting seeds of courage, you'll find yourself taking bolder steps you might have otherwise shied away from.
Makes sense.
Conversely, and this is a critical caution, if the seeds you're planting through repeated thought are those of doubt, fear, inadequacy, or even, constant comparison to others,
The negative stuff.
then you will inevitably cultivate a garden of failure, hesitation, and destructive self-sabotage. You are actively cultivating your future every single day, not just passively observing it unfold.
So it connects to that idea of a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Directly. But critically, it's one you actively cultivate through conscious, intentional input. It puts the ball entirely in your court.
Give you direct agency over your destiny.
One thought seed at a time.
That makes perfect sense. If you keep telling yourself you're not good enough or that a particular goal is unattainable, eventually your actions will reflect that deeply ingrained belief.
You'll act accordingly.
And you'll shy away from opportunities, or perhaps even unconsciously sabotage your own efforts. It just happens. But if you truly believe in your capacity, in the possibility of achievement, you'll step forward with conviction, resilience, and an open mind to finding solutions.
Exactly. Your whole demeanor changes.
And this brings us to one of Hill's most profound insights that our sources highlight. All man's achievements begin in the form of a thought. Autosuggestion is the way to nourish that thought.
That's a powerful statement.
It really is. This isn't just about positive thinking in some superficial, airy-fairy sense, is it? It feels far more rigorous than that.
Not at all. That's a crucial distinction, and it's where many people, frankly, misinterpret the power of Hill's philosophy. When Hill talks about nourishing a thought,
What does he mean by nourish?
he's describing a systematic, almost scientific process of incubation and development. It's about taking that initial spark of an idea, that nascent thought of a particular achievement, and meticulously feeding it, protecting it from negative influences.
Like tending the garden.
Exactly. And consistently reinforcing it until it grows from a fragile seedling into a dominant, unwavering force within your subconscious. It's the difference between having a fleeting wish and building an internal conviction so strong that it compels you into purposeful, unwavering action.
So it becomes a driving force.
Absolutely. This consistent, deliberate nourishment ensures the thought isn't just a passing fancy, but becomes the deeply etched blueprint for your desired reality, a powerful internal magnet attracting the resources and opportunities you need.
Right. And this leads to another important clarification from the source material that genuinely appeals to the learner in all of us, the person who seeks substance over fleeting trends. It's a distinction that truly separates Hill's philosophy from some of the more superficial self-help mantras out there. The point is clearly made that it's not about fake it till you make it.
Ah, yes, that old saying.
It's about train it till you believe it. What's the critical, actionable difference there?
Yeah.
Because for many, those phrases sound, kind of similar.
The difference is monumental, honestly, and it's the key to real, sustainable change. Fake it till you make it often implies a superficial pretense, right? A performance without genuine internal conviction.
Like you're just putting on a mask.
Exactly. It suggests you're merely mimicking the outward appearance of success or confidence, hoping that somehow the exterior will magically create the interior. It can lead to imposter syndrome or feeling like a fraud.
Yeah, I can see that.
Train it till you believe it, however, speaks to a process of consistent, disciplined effort and a structured approach that leads to genuine internal transformation.
So it's active work.
Active training. You are not simply pretending, you are actively training your mind, much like an Olympic athlete trains their body. Through repeated mental rehearsal, through consistent emotional engagement with the desired outcome,
Like we discussed.
you are literally forging new neural pathways in your brain. You are conditioning your subconscious until the belief becomes so deeply ingrained it feels authentic, spontaneous, and undeniably true.
So it becomes real inside first.
Precisely. This isn't about mere outward show. It's about genuine internal transformation, which in turn naturally leads to outward manifestation. It emphasizes the journey of cultivation and profound internal rewiring, rather than just reaching a destination through a quick trick.
Building a system, not just a facade.
Exactly. Building a robust internal system.
That's a game changer for so many people because it immediately implies hard work, deliberate practice, and consistency, not just, snapping your fingers.
It requires commitment.
It puts the responsibility and the power squarely in your hands. And this is precisely where the theoretical becomes incredibly practical and actionable for you, the listener.
Right, the how-to.
Our sources show how Hill strongly recommends combining autosuggestion directly with your definite chief goal, building on principles from earlier chapters, particularly those that focus on developing a burning desire.
Connecting desire with action.
This is where you put that desire into tangible action, making your dreams a concrete instruction set for your subconscious.
Exactly. The brilliance of Hill's approach is that he doesn't leave autosuggestion as just this abstract concept floating out there. He provides a concrete, precise, step-by-step formula.
A recipe almost.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It integrates it directly with your deepest desires and your most definite goals. It's a systematic approach designed to transform a vague wish into a burning, unwavering subconscious directive, like writing a very specific mission statement for your inner operating system.
Okay, so let's unpack this step-by-step formula. This is where you can really start applying these powerful principles today, creating that intentional program for your own success.
Let's do it.
Step 1, write down your exact goal. And the emphasis here, as Hill states, is absolutely on exact. Our source gives a very clear illustration. I will earn a significant financial goal, say $1 million, by December 31st, 2025.
Specificity.
Why is exact so profoundly crucial here? How does this level of specificity truly help the subconscious mind lock onto and work towards your objective?
Well, specificity is paramount because the subconscious mind, being that non-judgmental acceptor of input we discuss, also thrives on absolute clarity. A vague goal like I want to be rich or I want success is, well, it's fuzzy.
Like giving vague directions.
Exactly. It's like trying to give directions to an unknown destination without street names or a postcode. It lacks the precise coordinates necessary for your internal GPS to calculate a route.
Ah, the internal GPS. I like that.
When you write down $1 million by December 31st, 2025, you are providing your subconscious with an unmistakable, clear, and measurable target. This level of detail allows your mind to begin identifying relevant opportunities.
Seeing things you wouldn't normally see.
Potentially, yes. Connecting you to necessary resources and even subtly influencing your perception to notice pathways that align with that specific outcome. It creates a definitive mental blueprint that your subconscious can actively work towards rather than a fuzzy concept that remains largely inert.
Got it. Give it something concrete to grab onto.
Something quantifiable, something undeniable to start working with. Without this precision, your subconscious simply doesn't know what to align itself with.
So it's like telling your GPS the exact address down to the house number, rather than just somewhere nice. That makes perfect sense.
Precisely.
Okay, step 2. Write down precisely what you'll give in return for that goal. Our sources use a powerful example. By building a valuable YouTube channel and consistently sharing powerful ideas that benefit others.
The value exchange.
This step isn't just about what you want. It's about what you're genuinely willing to do, what value you're prepared to bring to the table. What does this emphasize about the principle of exchange in achieving your desires and the active effort required rather than just, passive wishing?
This second step is absolutely fundamental to Hill's entire philosophy, and it introduces the critical principle of reciprocity, value for value.
Okay.
Success, in Hill's view, is never achieved in a vacuum or through passive desire alone or by simply taking. It doesn't work that way. By explicitly stating what you will give in return.
What you'll contribute.
You are internalizing the profound concept that value must be created before it can be truly received. It transforms your desire from a mere wish into a genuine commitment, like a contract almost, between your conscious self and your subconscious.
A contract with yourself.
Yeah. It makes your subconscious aware that action, effort, and contribution are inherent, non-negotiable parts of the equation.
So what should you, the listener, consider when thinking about this for your own goals?
For you, the listener, this means asking yourself, what value am I truly willing to provide? What skills will I develop? What effort will I exert? What problems will I solve? What service will I render to manifest this goal?
It forces you to think practically.
It embeds the active effort, the doing, into the very desire itself. This isn't about magical thinking. It's about recognizing that universal law of cause and effect. It aligns your subconscious not just with having the goal, but with becoming the person who earns and deserves that goal through active contribution.
That's often overlooked, isn't it?
It is, but it's essential for grounding your desire in reality and ensuring sustained motivation. You have to be willing to pay the price.
It's incredibly powerful. It shifts the entire dynamic from a sense of entitlement to a commitment to earned reward. Very different energy.
Completely different.
Okay. Step 3. Set a definite deadline for the attainment of your goal. This might seem pretty straightforward, almost like just a logistical detail, but why is a firm deadline so vitally important for creating urgency and unwavering focus for the subconscious mind? It's not someday or when the time is right.
Eventually.
Right, but by this specific date.
A deadline introduces the element of focused energy and effectively eliminates procrastination, which, let's face it, is often the silent killer of dreams.
Absolutely.
Without a specific time frame, a goal can remain an abstract desire forever, just floating out there, relegated to the realm of things I'd like to do eventually.
The someday maybe list.
Yeah, exactly. The subconscious mind, when presented with a firm, non-negotiable deadline, interprets this as a concrete objective that requires immediate and sustained attention. It's like setting a psychological alarm clock for your entire being.
A psychological alarm clock, something like that.
This imperative primes your mind to actively look for solutions, to identify and seize opportunities, and to take consistent action within that defined period. It prevents the inertia that often plagues ambitious endeavors.
It creates pressure, but like good pressure.
Healthy pressure, exactly.
Yeah.
It creates a powerful psychological imperative, a sense of urgency that galvanizes your internal resources towards timely achievement. Think of it as applying that healthy pressure that pushes you to organize, prioritize, and execute.
Like the difference between I'll clean the house sometime versus I'll clean the house by 5 p.m. today.
Precisely. The latter statement immediately activates a clear plan and a sense of focused activity. The deadline makes it real.
So it really does act as a dynamic trigger for action.
Got it.
Okay, step 4. Read your written statement aloud twice a day, once in the morning and once at night. Our sources specifically call out the power of vocalization and consistent repetition here. But why morning and night specifically? What's the profound power behind that timing? And how does the act of speaking these words aloud amplify their effect?
Okay, the timing is highly strategic. It's brilliantly designed to tap into the natural rhythms and receptivity of our brain states.
How so?
In the morning, immediately upon waking, you are essentially setting the tone and direction for your entire day. Your mind is relatively clear. By reading your goal aloud first thing.
Before the chaos starts.
Exactly. Before the external noise, distractions, and demands of the day begin to crowd your thoughts. You are implanting that precise objective and the associated commitment into your mind. It's like programming your internal GPS for the day's journey, ensuring you start moving in the right direction.
Setting the intention.
And then at night, just before falling asleep, your mind naturally transitions into a more relaxed, highly receptive state, often referred to as the alpha or maybe even theta brainwave state.
More open.
Much more open. In these states, the conscious mind's critical filters, which often question and analyze everything, are significantly lowered. This makes the subconscious particularly open and impressionable to suggestion.
So the gatekeeper is sleepy.
Kind of. Repeating your goal aloud then allows it to sink deeply into your mind, where it can be processed and integrated throughout your sleep cycle. You're literally tasking your subconscious to work on it while you rest.
And the vocalization part, speaking it aloud.
Vocalization adds another powerful layer of sensory input. Hearing yourself speak the words, feeling the vibrations of your own voice, reinforces the message far more powerfully than just reading it silently.
More senses involved.
Right. It engages auditory as well as visual and even kinesthetic pathways, the feeling of speaking. It creates a multi-sensory infusion that amplifies the message's impact on your subconscious.
That's fascinating. It really is about optimizing the absorption and ensuring the message gets past those conscious gatekeepers. It makes the practice feel less like a chore and more like a deliberate, intelligent act.
It's strategic mental programming.
Okay, step 5. Visualize it. Feel like it's already happening. This is where the crucial element of emotion enters directly into the equation.
The big one.
It's not just about the words you say, it's about creating a vivid mental movie and then experiencing the genuine emotional feeling of having already achieved your goal. Our sources emphasize this isn't just a nice to have, it's non-negotiable.
Absolutely non-negotiable.
How does this combination of vivid mental imagery and profound emotional connection create such a powerful feedback loop within your mind, almost compelling your brain to believe it's true?
This step is arguably the most potent, the true catalyst that breathes life into the words. It's where the abstract words transform into a felt, undeniable reality inside you.
Making it real internally.
Yeah, because the subconscious mind, as we discussed, doesn't really differentiate between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. It registers both with pretty much equal validity. So when you deeply visualize your goal,
To seeing it clearly.
seeing it, hearing the sounds associated with it, feeling the textures, the warmth, the environment, and crucially, when you feel the genuine emotions of having already achieved it.
The joy, the relief.
Overwhelming joy, profound relief, deep satisfaction, the sense of accomplishment, whatever fits your goal. When you feel that, you are creating a powerful internal experience.
And that feeling is the key.
That emotional charge is the true fuel that activates and accelerates the subconscious programming. It creates a dynamic feedback loop where your brain literally begins to believe that this desired future is already its present reality.
Wow.
This belief then aligns your thoughts, your emotions, and most importantly, your actions with the reality of that achievement. It's not just about thinking about it, it's about experiencing it in advance.
Pre-programming.
Pre-programming your entire being down to your cellular level for that reality. The emotional resonance acts like a high-speed data transfer, accelerating the integration of the suggestion into your subconscious operating system. moving it from mere concept to an ingrained command.
You're essentially tricking your brain into believing it's already happened.
In a way, yes, which then makes it work tirelessly to make it happen in the external world.
It's like a mental dress rehearsal for success, but one where the emotions are absolutely real, and the more real the rehearsal, the more likely the actual performance will mirror it.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And finally, step 6. Repeat this daily for at least 30 days, or until your desire has become an obsession. Why is this emphasis on unwavering consistency so paramount?
Right.
And why specifically a minimum of 30 days? What's the science or the psychology behind that particular duration for the subconscious to truly begin absorbing and internalizing this new programming?
Consistency is paramount because the subconscious mind learns through repetition and reinforcement, plain and simple. Much like a muscle grows with consistent exercise.
Building that mental muscle.
Exactly. Think of it like carving a path through a dense forest. A single walk leaves little trace, right? But daily treks, repeated over weeks, create a well-worn, undeniable trail.
Okay, yeah.
Similarly, for a new thought or belief to become deeply ingrained and effectively replace old, perhaps limiting patterns of thinking, it requires sustained, diligent input, constant reinforcement.
And the 30 days, is that magic?
It's not necessarily magic, but the 30-day minimum isn't arbitrary either. It's a commonly cited period in psychology and neuroscience for establishing new neural pathways and solidifying new behaviors or beliefs. Habit formation takes time.
So it's about rewiring.
It's about rewiring. While individual results and the exact time frame may vary based on, the depth of the old programming or the intensity of the new input, this duration provides a robust foundation. It allows the subconscious to begin absorbing, accepting, and internalizing the new programming.
Giving it time to sink in.
It's the period during which the new input truly starts to overwrite the old, moving from a conscious, effortful practice to an unconscious, automatic response. It takes time for the subconscious to truly get the message and integrate it into its core operating system, especially when it's challenging deeply held, long-standing beliefs.
So persistence matters, even if you don't see results right away.
Absolutely. This consistent persistence, even when you don't feel immediate results, is what builds the mental muscle and transforms fleeting thoughts into powerful, ingrained convictions, until, as Hill says, it becomes an obsession, a dominant driving force.
So it's not a quick fix or a magical shortcut. It's a committed, disciplined process, almost like daily mental training. That's a vital distinction for anyone genuinely seeking to implement this.
It is. It requires dedication.
Now, we've talked about this incredible power of autosuggestion and outlined precisely how to apply it. But here's the uncomfortable truth our sources and, countless real-world observations consistently bring up. Why does autosuggestion fail for most people?
Yeah, this is the reality check.
Because it does, right. And the core reason, as highlighted by Hill, seems to be the critical missing ingredient: emotionless affirmations.
Django.
People often say things like, I am rich, I am powerful, I will win. But they do so with, as the source says, no emotion, no belief, no feeling, just empty words.
Just reciting lines.
Why is this mere recitation so utterly ineffective, maybe even counterproductive? What's the profound psychological barrier here?
This is where many people fundamentally misunderstand the mechanism entirely, and it's where their efforts often falter. The psychological barrier is that the subconscious mind responds primarily to feeling and emotion, not just to words.
Words are just symbols.
Exactly. Words are merely symbols, intellectual constructs. If you utter affirmations without any genuine emotional resonance, without truly feeling the conviction or the desired state behind those words, they remain superficial. They simply don't penetrate.
They bounce off.
Pretty much. They don't penetrate the deeper, more primal layers of the subconscious mind, which operates on the language of feeling and vibration. It's like trying to water a thirsty plant by pouring water around the pot instead of directly into the soil.
Good analogy.
Your conscious mind might process the words, might even nod along intellectually, but the subconscious, which is the engine of your automatic behaviors and beliefs, remains untouched and uninfluenced.
So there's a disconnect.
A huge disconnect. It's as if your conscious mind is saying, I am successful, but your deeper subconscious programming, perhaps from years of scarcity mindset, self-doubt, or past failures, is screaming, no, you're not.
And the subconscious wins.
The emotion, or lack thereof, wins. The emotion is what bridges that disconnect. It's the genuine yes from your deeper self that the subconscious needs to hear to activate. Without that genuine feeling, it's just noise, a logical command without the necessary emotional power to compel action.
And Hill is quite stern about this, isn't he? Our sources indicate he doesn't pull any punches about the importance of emotion.
He is unyielding on this point, absolutely unyielding. Hill's specific caution underscores this absolutely critical principle. Mere words without emotion will not influence the subconscious mind.
That's pretty direct.
It's not just a suggestion. It's stated as a foundational law of how the subconscious operates. It highlights that the words themselves are merely the vehicles, the carriers of the message.
The delivery system.
Right. The true power, the actual fuel that drives the autosuggestion deep into the subconscious is the emotion, the belief, the genuine feeling that accompanies them. It's not just about the words, but the vibration or energy behind them.
Without that charge, they're just flat.
Inert, like a car without fuel. Your subconscious requires that emotional current to truly hear, register, and integrate the message as a command for action. Without it, you're just speaking into the void.
So it's really about the depth of belief, isn't it? You have to truly believe what you say, or, and this is where the consistency and the 30-day practice perhaps come in, you have to consistently say it until you start to believe it.
Yes, that's the nuance.
What's the nuance there? This isn't about immediate forced belief, which can feel artificial, but a process of gradual conviction built through consistent, emotionally charged repetition. How can listeners genuinely cultivate this feeling, especially if they don't immediately feel that profound conviction when they start?
That's precisely the nuance, and it's a vital distinction for anyone feeling stuck or maybe a bit cynical starting out. Forcing belief can indeed feel artificial, unsustainable, and often, frankly, quite disheartening. I don't feel rich right now.
Right. It feels like lying to yourself.
Exactly. The pathway to genuine conviction often begins not with an immediate, overwhelming feeling, but with the act of repetition, combined with the attempt to evoke the desired feeling. Even if the feeling isn't intensely present at first.
Even a little bit.
Even a little spark. The consistent, emotionally infused input gradually, like water eroding rock, chips away at old limiting beliefs and creates new neural pathways.
So the visualization is key here.
The visualization step we discussed earlier is absolutely key here. By vividly imagining the outcome, not just seeing it, but truly immersing yourself in the sensory experience of it and consciously trying to connect with the emotions associated with having already achieved it.
Even if it feels like acting at first.
Even if it feels like acting, you start to simulate the experience for your subconscious. Even if it's a small spark of that feeling, that's enough to begin. Over time, as you consistently pair the words with the simulated emotion, your subconscious,
Which can't tell the difference.
right, which cannot differentiate between a vividly imagined event and a real one, begins to accept it as its new reality. It's a process of conditioning, a gradual re-education.
Like training a muscle.
You cultivate the feeling through disciplined mental rehearsal, much like an actor cultivates a deep emotion for a role through repeated practice and immersion. The consistency is what eventually bridges the gap between intellectually understanding a statement and deeply feeling it as an undeniable truth, until it genuinely feels like that obsession that compels you.
That makes so much sense. It's about building that mental and emotional muscle of belief over time, gradually replacing the old programming with the new, not forcing it overnight.
Exactly. Patience and persistence.
Now, it's easy to think of autosuggestion only in terms of financial goals, especially given the title of the book, Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah, the title is pretty specific.
But as we deepen our understanding, it becomes clear that autosuggestion isn't just about accumulating wealth. It's a fundamental principle of human psychology applied across countless high-performance fields and aspects of life.
Absolutely. The principles are universal. This isn't some specific wealth-building trick. It's a profound, deeply embedded mechanism of the human mind.
A core function.
That, once understood and intentionally harnessed, can be applied to any area where you desire to achieve a specific outcome, strengthen your internal resolve, or overcome a limiting belief. Its power transcends any single domain like money.
Let's look at some powerful real-world examples that showcase this broader application. Think about Olympic athletes.
Oh yeah, classic example.
They spend countless hours in physical training, of course. But just as importantly, they intensely visualize winning before they even compete. They don't just see themselves crossing the finish line, they feel it. What exactly is happening there psychologically?
This is applied mental rehearsal. a form of autosuggestion at its finest. Olympic athletes aren't just vaguely seeing themselves win, they're creating a full, multisensory emotional experience in their minds.
All the details.
Feeling the burning in their muscles as they push, hearing the roar of the crowd, smelling the track or the chlorine, feeling the weight of the metal around their neck. They are imprinting that desired outcome, complete with all its sensory and emotional components, directly and repeatedly into their subconscious mind.
Programming for success.
Absolutely. This isn't just wishful thinking, it's about programming their internal system for that specific successful outcome.
And how does that build confidence and prepare the body?
Well, this deep mental pre-paving achieves several critical things. First, it builds unwavering confidence because the mind has already experienced the victory countless times. The subconscious processes these vivid mental rehearsals as actual past events.
Making it feel familiar.
Exactly, making the actual competition feel familiar and less daunting. Second, this mental preparation actually helps prepare the body for action. It can reduce performance anxiety and stress hormones like cortisol,
Calming the nerves.
while potentially enhancing the release of feel-good neurotransmitters. It fine-tunes motor pathways, enhances focus, and conditions the nervous system to perform optimally under pressure, almost as if it's merely executing a familiar, perfectly rehearsed script.
The body follows the mind.
Literally follows the mind's precise instructions.
It's like they've already run the perfect race 100 times in their mind, so when they get to the starting line, it's just executing a well-known program.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, what about successful entrepreneurs? Our sources point out that many of them, whether they call it autosuggestion or not, repeat their core goals and visions daily.
A common practice.
In a world of constant change, risk, and challenges, how does this consistent daily reinforcement maintain their laser-like focus, help them overcome inevitable obstacles, and keep them profoundly aligned with their vision amidst relentless uncertainty?
For entrepreneurs who face a constant barrage of uncertainty, setbacks, critical decisions, that daily goal repetition acts as both an internal compass and a resilient anchor.
Keeping them grounded.
Yes. By consistently affirming their vision, their desired future state, their impact, their financial targets, they are continually reinforcing their core purpose and desired outcome deep within their subconscious. This daily ritual serves to maintain laser-like focus amidst countless distractions and conflicting priorities.
Cutting through the noise.
It prevents them from getting sidetracked by shiny new objects or temporary setbacks. And when obstacles arise, as they inevitably will,
It's part of the game.
this deeply ingrained vision acts as an unwavering source of intrinsic motivation, problem-solving ingenuity, and emotional resilience. It's the internal why that keeps them pushing forward when things get tough.
Reminding them why they started.
It keeps them aligned with their long-term vision, preventing short-term failures or temporary market shifts from derailing their ultimate objective. It's a constant, deliberate recalibration of their inner guidance system, ensuring that every action, conscious or unconscious, moves them closer to that programmed destination.
They are literally reminding their entire being of the mission every single day.
Every single day, that commitment.
So it's not just reminding themselves of the goal, it's recommitting themselves to the entire vision and maybe even the person they need to be to achieve it every single day. That's a profound distinction.
It really is. It's about embodying the vision.
And finally, let's consider confident speakers. Many top-tier communicators consistently imagine delivering the perfect speech, feeling the flow, connecting with the audience, landing every key point, all before they even step onto the stage.
Pre-performance visualization.
We've all felt those pre-performance jitters. It's a universal human experience. How does this specific use of autosuggestion powerfully help overcome nerves, build self-efficacy, and effectively pre-pave the path to a truly successful performance?
For confident speakers, this is all about performance mastery and psychological inoculation. They aren't just reciting lines in their head, they're envisioning the entire sensory and emotional experience of a flawless delivery.
Feeling the success beforehand.
The fluidity of their words, the positive, engaged reaction of the audience, the feeling of ease and authority in their own voice. This vivid pre-visualization, a powerful form of autosuggestion, inoculates them against crippling performance anxiety.
Like a vaccine against stage fright.
Kind of. By mentally experiencing a perfect, successful delivery countless times, they build a robust sense of self-efficacy, that deep, unshakable belief in their own capability to perform well, even before they do.
So they know they can do it.
Their subconscious registers this successful mental rehearsal as a past event, significantly reducing the perception of risk and fear associated with public speaking. It effectively pre-paves the path to a successful performance by conditioning the mind and body to respond as if the ideal scenario is already a done deal,
Making it the expected outcome.
which allows them to step onto the stage with calm assurance, genuine confidence, and a natural flow. Rather than being paralyzed by debilitating fear or self-doubt, they've already won the speech in their mind.
Making the actual delivery simply an execution.
Exactly.
It's incredible how many successful individuals are actually using autosuggestion, consciously or unconsciously, whether they call it that or not.
It's often intuitive for high performers.
It's not some mystical force that only a select few can tap into. It's a natural, inherent mechanism of the human mind that, when understood, can be harnessed intentionally by anyone.
Precisely. It highlights that the subconscious mind is always being influenced, always being programmed. It's either being directed by conscious, positive input,
Your chosen thoughts.
or it's being shaped by random, undirected thoughts, limiting beliefs picked up from childhood, external stimuli like the news or social media that you might pick up unknowingly.
Just soaking it all in.
Autosuggestion merely provides the framework for intentional, positive, and systematic influence, turning what is often an unconscious, haphazard process into a deliberate, powerful tool for self-mastery and goal achievement.
The hands see the steering wheel.
That's a perfect way to put it.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into autosuggestion, let's distill the absolute key lessons from Chapter 3 that we want you, the listener, to carry with you.
Okay, the takeaways.
First, and this is absolutely foundational,
Right.
your subconscious mind accepts repeated thoughts without judgment. It doesn't discriminate between what you consciously perceive as true or false.
Yeah.
It just takes the input. That's a huge revelation.
Huge. Understand that first. Second, and this is your empowering takeaway, autosuggestion is your powerful, voluntary tool to intentionally feed and program that subconscious mind. It's the agency of control we talked about.
Right. You're in charge. Third, and this is the vital ingredient that separates success from mere wishing. To make it truly stick and manifest, you must combine consistent, disciplined repetition with genuine, heartfelt emotion.
Feeling is the fuel. Words alone are simply not enough. Feeling is the critical fuel that activates your subconscious engine. Can't stress that enough.
And finally, a crucial point for sustained, transformative success. Consistency is paramount. This isn't a one-time trick or an occasional affirmation when you feel like it.
Not a magic pill.
It is a daily, disciplined, and unwavering practice. It's about building a robust habit of intentional mental input that transforms your beliefs and consequently your reality over time.
It's a lifestyle almost.
This deep dive into autosuggestion really makes you rethink the way you talk to yourself, doesn't it? The incredible power you hold over your own internal programming, over the very operating system of your mind.
It really does put the responsibility back on you.
Now that you know how to influence your subconscious mind and what it takes for that input to truly stick and create tangible results, what exactly should you be feeding it?
That's the next question.
Is all knowledge equally powerful for this kind of transformative programming? Or is there maybe a special kind of knowledge, a deeper understanding that truly moves you towards your deepest aspirations and helps you craft the most effective programming for your subconscious?
Something profound to mull over as you go about your day. What's the right input?
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep being curious about the incredible, limitless potential within your own mind.
Absolutely. And we'll be here for the next deep dive, actually exploring that very question, looking into what Hill calls specialized knowledge and how it's not just what you know, but how you organize and apply it that really matters.
If this audiobook inspired you, imagine what the next one will do. Subscribe now and turn your time into transformation, one audiobook at a time. Hit the bell so you never miss the words that could change your world.